Welcome back, and this is your host, Jordan Klein, and we're back into some more anime talks. And this episode, I'm like super excited for yet another anime to go over, and we'll be focusing on Tougen Anki. I could be mispronouncing that, forgive me, but I'm telling y'all, this is like one of those interesting sleepers that has its way to my heart in somewhat. It has a lot of close ties to a lot of other different animes that I've seen, and it just has that feel. So, like, we're gonna get straight into it. In Togenaki, we're actually following the story and the legacy of Ichinose, and he is very, very, very interesting of a character. And what I like about Ichinose is we get a peep, if like especially digging into the first episode, you get the it's more or less you get this very, very, very deep ties into an in-ground warfare that's going on within the show that feels so heavy to the close ties of a Tokyo Ghoul, which is what this show reminds me of. It's like almost like a very knockoff of the show, and I hate to say that because Tokyo Ghoul is Tokyo Ghoul, and this is Togenaki. Yeah, completely two different shows, but it's the same thing that's going on. You have like the Oni, which are the demons or ghouls, versus the white suits, or in this show, the Momotaro, which is very interesting as well because they're white suited as well. I would have to say we see the opening of Ichinose's father, like figure, getting killed, and that breaches out, and he becomes tied into a cold, nasty war that's been going on between the two factions for forever. And what I really, really enjoyed the most is that we watch Ichinose learn so much about himself in the course of the show, and we're met by small and interesting characters throughout it. We have Mudano, who's or Mudano, who ends up being the mentor for Shiki, and we go through so much when it comes down to his development as far as like understanding his Oni blood, being able to grasp the concept of what's going on. It's just a lot when it goes down into the core mechanics of the show versus what's going to happen for the future of the show. This is from what I understand, this is the closeout of season one. I watched the last episode maybe the other day, and it was very, very interesting on how it went. I'm not going to reveal that much, only because this is only a review as far as the core of the show without releasing too much of the plot, because of course this is one of those I would like for you to watch it on your own, and hopefully I feed you enough to where you would like to dig into it yourself. But the plot, I'd have to say, within the show, there isn't enough in the show as far as like every character is like NPC, I'd have to say. And that's like my biggest gripe. You have like your names of everybody that's like important, sort of kind of like, but they're not really important. And I hate to even say that, but I can't even remember most of the other characters' names. But there are just a few other shows that follow the same kind of situation. You know, we run into this a lot where there's not enough good characters to give you like to shed light on it. So following Shiki, we are messed with Jin Kogasaki, where he is following almost the same revenge path that Shiki's going under, but he's on an even darker trail where there's some ties to the Momotaro. And then following that is the reference in earlier, where we have Mudano, where he is just a mentor who's like really calmed down. He used to be really, really, really oppressive from what they've explained in the show so far, and now he's more like relaxed and not as aggressive as he used to be. And you see like the old ties. We really could use some. I hope that if they're granted a season 2, we definitely need more of a prequel to everything that happened before these events, because there's just like a lot of backstory. I feel like Mudano should definitely have a season 2 centered around just pre Shiki like entry, and that would really help us understand what's going on and make us feel a little bit more, I guess, well grounded. Is that, if that's the best way of wording it? You know, I really don't like when there's shows like this that just kind of make you wonder so much, and there's like not enough being drawn to it. And to, like, you know, to each your own. It's not the end of the world. I don't not like the show. I just feel as if they definitely should give us a little more. Like this show leaves you hungry for a lot more, because they didn't do it bad. They just could have did it just a little bit better. And this is probably the first anime that I have to probably sit on the lower end of rating, mainly because the plot. There's so much going on there. The plot is very, very, very basic, very basic. But they do have a lot of good fight scenes. They do have very interesting character development for the main people. Supporting characters have probably the worst character development, as far as like most shows I've seen, and this show probably takes the cake of supporting roles not really getting much light. They're kind of just basic. They're just there, and for the most part, I really just don't like how they executed. Again, that just they didn't give enough love to the characters supporting like they should have. I feel like from this standpoint, we could potentially see a downfall of a show. And again, watch it, give it a go. Me personally, I did like it. I have to take a stance of being objectively honest about a show. I feel like we definitely have a show that's, if you like the likes of Tokyo Ghoul, where you have that little small faction war going on, this is like a small fix to that. Tokyo Ghoul kind of ended horribly as well, but this show is just starting. I have not did any digging on like if it was getting a renewal or not. From what I did read, the ratings were like pretty low overseas, but still, this show still might take off. If push come to shove, I will go read the rest and be able to deliver the rest of the podcast for the manga review as a whole. But honestly, coming from an anime lover's standpoint, I do like the main characters that are there. There is some charm with the supporting roles, but it's just not enough to say that it's like an 8 out of 10 kind of thing. I wouldn't even give it that high. I'd have to probably sit like at a 6 out of 10, simply because there's just, if you've seen Tokyo Ghoul, you're pretty much getting a repeat, just like a rehash repeat. and a reset from that. The world building around it, I feel like they just have a lot going on. They introduce so many different characters and not enough got what it needed. Now, don't get me wrong, they definitely do the whole like when like stuff gets real, they do like a quick exposition drop on somebody and give like a little bit of backgrounding information on them, but it still doesn't. It doesn't do it for me. It's one of those situations. I definitely wish they would have executed that a little bit better, and I just don't like that I'm just like ripping this apart. But it's one of those animes that you either like it or you don't. It's not a and that could be any anime, right? But this one particularly, you either like it or you don't. You know, you're gonna see those things in there. There's just way too many characters, not enough development with all the characters. The cast is huge, and I'm also including the wayside units too. Like the wayside units are or the same thing. Like the people that are just like off to the side. Your NPC characters are really just they're just like not. They don't give enough depth to the show, but the stuff that is going on with Shiki, leading all the way up until the 24th episode, is solid. I do like it. The show is good. It's like the show's good. The execution of the show was horrible. That's the only gripe I have with it. Other than that, you'll love the dark tones that are around it. They have a lot of fan service and a lot of comic relief. You'll like a lot of it. You'll laugh. Again, the charm is there with the characters. It's there. You'll like it. You just have to already like the show from like the first couple episodes and then move forward from there. And I did binge it. I did enjoy it. Like there's just stuff that made me. They had a couple pushes in there that just make you want to dig deeper and deeper to find out what was going to happen next. But it had its predictable moments where you just like, okay, I knew this was going to happen, or I just needed this to hurry up and happen because I seen it coming, kind of thing. But again, objectively, it's great. It's great. I do like it. I love the show. Me and my kid, we definitely was able to get around to watching it and watched a good bit of it. It has, as far as like now from a parent anime parent standpoint, this is something that you can watch with your kid. It's not too far out and like crazy. It's something that you can definitely watch with children nearby. They don't have anything too crazy. I mean, they have like mild language, but outside of that, it's solid show. Definitely something that isn't. I would honestly say is like background noise, kind of a show. You know, like you can have it on, and it's only because it's like it's not one of those like main entries. And again, I don't even like having to say that because I treated it like a main entry. I do it with every anime. I focus on it and watch it to be able to give as thorough as a review as possible. And what I hope to see is season 2. That's up for a huge debate only because it has its flaws. Am I looking forward to see how they're going to go with the season 2? Yes. Season 1 ended in a very interesting way that you'll only know if you watch. And it makes me wonder, how is season 2 going to be handled with the way things ended? It is just the way they ended. I can see, and it's not even being like oddly funny about it. I can see why they would get canceled and not be allowed to have a season 2 with how they ended season 1. It was very, very interestingly open-ended in a weird way, but like open-ended in the wrong direction. If I can say, it's again worth the watch. Definitely tag this along with another anime you're watching. I think that's the best way to word it. Just watch it with something else. Like don't hyper focus on it. It's definitely not one of those hyper focused animes that you should be like, oh, I'm gonna watch this and only watch this. It's only 24 episodes for the first season, and we don't even know if season 2 is going to be in yet. But moving forward, this again worth the watch. On my scale that we do always start at a 10 out of 10 for all the shows, but to go ahead and knock it down to where it's supposed to be, one not take away, of course, is the world building outside of the considered main characters. I feel like it's horrible. Like nobody has enough, like they did like a small little power up for each, like sort of like weird plot armor protection for each of the characters within their own respective fights throughout the show that I really wasn't a big fan of, because like none of them like technically grew and like got better in a sense. It was weird. The way they did that was horrible. Knocking down to knocking another point away is, again, plot wise is just, again, it's never good when a show is either you like it or you don't. It's either catering to like people of that genre or not. That's like one of the horrible things about certain animes. Like there's just like certain animes that just like everybody likes it. Everybody enjoys it. There's no drop off, or like just so many people will like it because it's like rated E for everyone kind of thing. And this one sadly isn't. You just have to like it or you don't. And then going down a little bit more, there's just other areas that just could have been a little bit better. Like I said, cast is just too big. World building is just not so heavy. Directions moving towards season 2 is very, very vague. Like, of course, I haven't read the manga, so there is that. But the anime adaptation, which is what the review's based on, it doesn't leave enough for me to like really want to see what's coming next. Like, I'm looking forward to it because I'm an avid anime watcher, but your average consumer of these kind of things that are trying to find an anime to watch, this is just one of those weird situations where I was really like hard down into this, and then the way the last 2 episodes really kind of just threw me for a loop. And I did recommend this to a couple people back when I was like in the middle of it, and it was like just a lot of twists and turns and plot twists and nice little kicks, and then like last 3 episodes kind of gave me a weird spot for the show. And I'm still in the positive though. But we're just moving down to like realistic sites of where this anime should sit. So I'd say like a 6 out of 7. I mean, 6 out of 7. A 6 out of 10. 6, 7, maybe 7 out of 10. Maybe. Don't know. I'm gonna stick with a 6 because a 6 is like fair. Now I wouldn't ever go below 5 for any of these, only because I did watch it in its entirety. So it could be worse, but it's not that bad. You have like, it has a lot of really cool abilities, really cool fight scenes. It makes up. The plot does have its points where you like a couple tear jerkers, a couple things that make you say, "Oh, okay, I really do like this." There is depth for only certain characters, and like that's kind of where it sits. Like just only enough depth for like a few of the mains or the 3 mains, and then everybody else is just like they exist. They're just there, like super fodder. Like if one of them died, I probably wouldn't cry, kind of a thing, which is not good. You want a connection with every character in the show. Whoever they bring on screen, you definitely got to have some feelings towards them. But nonetheless, thank y'all for like tuning in. I'm sorry that this was such a short one. The show sadly just didn't have enough. It just didn't have enough for me to carry this out for our normal duration. Yeah, and it was 24 episodes. Sadly, there just wasn't much to talk about on it. They is just one of those animes that you just have to watch it to check it out. Like I said, the cast is decently big. You run into a lot of different things, a lot of different struggles, a lot of different evolutions, but like between a few of the characters. But there isn't anything else past that. Like you just gotta check that out and watch it. Again, don't make it your main and have it on the back burner. Like watch it when you're trying to like watch something and you don't want to get too deep. Like I don't know, right before you go pick up the kids from school, or the one episode before you go to bed. Like just like have it somewhere. Like, but do watch it. I do feel like it shares so many close ties to Tokyo Ghoul. I feel like it's like a knockoff that goes in a different direction. And I'm looking forward. I am genuinely looking forward as a fan of checking out season 2. But from the objective podcaster standpoint, it's kind of tough. It is kind of tough to justify what season 2 is going to be bringing us based on how things went. So again, thank y'all. This is your host, Jordan Klein, and hopefully this gets renewed so we can come out with something else to be able to like dig a little deeper. So again, thank y'all all for tuning in. And if you haven't checked out any of the other videos, definitely give them a listen. It's always growth and development here, and I do enjoy being able to do this thing for y'all and for me, because it's a huge learning curve, huge learning lesson for me all the way around. So again, thank y'all, and y'all have a good one. Peace.